Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 982B, and today's date is May 27th, 2016, and the title of the episode is Daytime Military Drills in Tampa Used to Condition the American People. Now, before I get started, I just want to make two announcements. The first one is that I put a new interview on the X22 Report Spotlight YouTube channel. It is James Perloff, so if you go over to the YouTube channel X22 Report Spotlight, you can see the video there, or you can come over to the x22report.com site, scroll down a little bit, look over to the right-hand side, you can view the video there, or go to newssentinel.com, same thing, scroll down a little bit, look over to your right-hand side, and you can view the video there. Now, I just want to thank everyone that has been listening to me. I know the YouTube channel has hit 100,000 people, and I am very grateful. I am very appreciative of everyone listening to the X22 Report. I started this, and I remember when I had 5 people. And this channel was started to look at the economic news, look at the political news, look at the geopolitical news, and take all of this and put the pieces together to figure out what was going on. Because we know the corporate media, we know the U.S. government, they lie to us, and we know that they leave a lot of information out, and they never back any of their information up. And I wanted to look at all the indicators, create this picture of what was going on so we can make sense of it. It wasn't being used to predict anything. It's not being used to look into the future. It's being used to look at what our government is actually doing, what's really happening in the economy. This was the whole purpose, and still is the purpose, of X22. And I am very grateful and very appreciative of everyone listening. I actually didn't think it was possible that anyone would actually listen to me at all. So for all those people that have been following, all those people that have been listening, even the people that don't like what I say, even the people that give me dislikes, you're still coming to the channel, and you're still adding something where it makes people think. Now, I'm not telling everyone to believe every single word I say. I do research, I do look at different information, and everyone should do the same, and everyone should question everything our government is doing. Our founding fathers, when they created this entire system, that's what they wanted the press to do. Question the government. Keep them in check. And this is what it is all about. And if there is someone who's commenting or someone who dislikes, that is actually good, because it makes people say, well, wait a minute. Is Dave telling us something that's not right? Or is it this person? And then when they delve into it, they say, okay, I made the decision for myself. Now I know what the answer is. It makes people think. And when people think, people question. And when people question, the truth eventually emerges, and we finally have what is really going on. And I just like to say, I am honored to have all of you listen to me. Once again, really, thank you very much for following me and putting up with me. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, we talk a lot about the U.S. government, not just the U.S. government, other governments around the world spying on the people. I mean, this is what they're most afraid of. They're afraid of the people. They're afraid of the people rising up. They're afraid of the people of removing them from their post. And we are a threat to them. And this is why the government is using terrorism. This is why they're saying that we need to spy on everyone. This is why they're violating all our rights. But what's happening is, it seems that these agencies are pushing so hard, and they're trying to convince the court systems, they're trying to convince Congress that we need to spy on the people. And it's not that we need to anymore, is that we have to. And right now, the FBI, they may be granted powers to snoop on everyone's email without a warrant, allowing them to demand a person's email data and web browsing history from service providers. Now again, I've said this many times, we need to protect ourselves. There are many different ways you can do this. I would join up with an encrypted email service, or if you're going to send messages, you can use encryption on your own. There is a free encryption on my site on the right-hand side, where you can take the data, encrypt it, send the other person the key, and they can have the key. You should also make sure that you're blocking your signal on your phone. You can use like a product like Block It Pocket. You can get it at blockitpocket.com. It's a sleeve that you can slide your phone into. It's interwoven with metals, which blocks the signal. You can also get them for your credit cards and things like that, because we know a lot of these cards have chips in them, and people walking by with scanners can just retake your information. But whatever way you do it, we need to take responsibility, and we need to say to the government, listen, you can't have my information. And I'm going to use encryption, and I know it's not foolproof, nothing is. But listen, do you lock up your valuables in a safe? Do you lock your house when you leave it? Do you lock your car when you're parked in a parking lot? Of course you do. Can someone still break in? Yes. But you're showing people, you're showing whoever's trying to do it, that no, I'm putting up a barrier. Now, some barriers are better than others, but you're still doing it, and it's the same thing with our electronic data. There should be no difference whatsoever. Now, there is a secret provision included in the Senate's annual intelligence authorization, which will expand the FBI's authority. Now, the FBI, they can get certain types of information using national security letters. They can get your name, you can get your address, they can get your call data associated with the phone number, they can get details about your bank account. And since 2008, Justice Department legal opinion, the FBI has been allowed to use these NSLs to demand electronic communication transactional records. Well, the spy bill passed the Senate Intelligence Committee on Tuesday with this provision in it. And one of the bill's provisions would allow the FBI to demand email records without a court order. Now, this is a major expansion of the federal surveillance powers. Now, it's unclear how exactly this provision was added, and we see right now that all of these agencies, the government, the courts, they don't really care if they violate your rights. And if we look at the Fourth Amendment, this is a violation of our rights, period. Now, we realize that Obama, since he started, he continually tells everyone that he has the most transparent administration, and we really know he does not. But something very strange happened at the Office of Government Ethics, and this government office reports on different things, and it's the primary tool that the watchdog journalists, political activists, interested voters can use to guard against presidential appointees using their positions to enrich themselves or others. For years, the OGE website featured a sortable, searchable list of about 1,000 government appointees, including their names, agencies, titles, and had all the information about them. And by clicking on a name, users could easily access multiple disclosures for the appointee, including yearly financial accounting, stock ownership, and a letter detailing any agreements surrounding conflicts, such as issues when the individual promises to recuse himself. But what we come to learn is that the list was completely removed, and all they put up there was a search box, which really isn't the same thing. Now, why did they do this? Well, they don't want you to learn about certain information. They don't want the watchdogs searching their information. They don't want to make it easy for anyone to find this information. And as we can see, the Obama administration is not as transparent as he continually tells everyone. Now, out in North Korea and South Korea, South Korea's Navy on Friday, they fired warning shots to chase away 2 North Korean ships. One was a fishing ship, and the other one was some type of military vessel, as they say. Now, of course, the source wants to remain anonymous. South Korea fired their shots, hoping that North Korea would fire back and something would be started. And we can see right now they're using this to provoke North Korea over and over. Remember what that former general said, where North Korea is coming to its end here, where they're going to have a financial collapse, they might have a regime change. And we need to keep that in the back of our minds as we see the U.S. And all the private Western central bank countries continually provoke North Korea. Now, out in Ukraine, we see Poroshenko. He has sanctioned 17 Russian leaders, including the editor-in-chief of RT. And the sanctions include special economic and other restrictive measures against individuals who pose a real and potential threat to the national interest of Ukraine. And this will be in force until December 31st, 2017. Poroshenko also appointed ex-NATO chief Rasmussen as advisor to Poroshenko. Very interesting. Now, Ukrainian forces, they have attempted to advance on the Donetsk area. They tried to break through the positions, and the attack was made by the 58th Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. So we can see nothing has gone away in Ukraine. Their mission is still to get the southeastern area and Crimea, and the battle is still raging there. We see Russia right now is extending the food bans on all the European nations until 2017 because they once again placed sanctions on Russia or extended the sanctions on Russia. We see military exercises taking place in the Baltic. There's about 10,000 soldiers from 12 countries that are taking place today. And there's about 3,500 servicemen from foreign countries, mostly the United States. Finland is the only non-NATO member to participate in the exercises. And the drill will also see a delivery of soldiers, equipment, and weapons to the Baltic states. And these exercises are going to come to an end by June 13th. But we know once they have these drills, the equipment always stays in this area. They don't remove it afterwards. Why? This is what they use to move military assets and troops into position. Now, out in Libya, we see there was a problem where we had this refugee ship which capsized. People were hurt, injured, some people died. And the British government, they're preparing to send the Royal Navy warship to the coast of Libya. Now, this new British deployment is going to be part of